I got to know your show through my ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
She is an atheist. I'm a believer. I was born and I was raised Orthodox Christian. I was not born in this country. I was born in a different country back in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, my English is not as good as you, is not as any of the other callers. So, I'm just trying to be
I can understand
We
you, so
understand
don't
you.
worry.
And if I'm not clear for any reason, like you can tell me and I can repeat this. The discussion, I go in discussion with my ex-wife about atheism or the Bible most of the time. She listened to your show too a lot. What I wanted to know, because when I listen to your show, I find myself going in a circle. I understand that it's a great option, and chance that the people can call and you give them the option to, talk about Christianity while you guys are an atheist. But what I want to know is the main discussion, is there is God or no God?
Okay.
If there is God, if there is God, then we can move over and talk which God is it? Is the God of the Christians or Muslims or Jewish? And if there is no God, then no need to talk about how cruel is the God of the Bible. Some callers, like yesterday, I was listening to the show, like an old episode, they would try to explain about, you guys talking about the slavery. No, there is explanation for everything. Those people are weak, and I hope as many people listening to me as possible. Like I said, I am not from here. Mm-hmm. I was not born here. People here, 90% of them, of the callers, are Protestant. Whatever the denomination is.
Protestant.
What? Oh, Protestant,
Yep.
yes.
Protestant, yeah. Whatever denomination, Adventist or whatever else. Those people, this religion is 500 years old. Jesus was 2,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody who's 500 years ago they do not have enough knowledge to be discussing the Bible. Even if you find 10% or 20% who are Catholic, it's the same thing. People in the United States...
Hang on, I got to disagree here, because I don't think that the age of a thing necessarily has any relationship to how well informed it is. I mean, a lot of the scientific information that we have is much, much less than 500 years old, but I think that it is much more accurate than anything that was handed down for 2,000 years. I mean, you may not agree with all science, and I'm going to bet you don't.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear in this. When I said the age of 2,000 years ago, mean that this religion is 500 years old.
Okay.
And came out from another religion that was Catholic, and it is 1,300 years old. Both of them against each other. Both of the two religions based on many political things. So none of them is correct.
For the sake of argument, though, I'm going to ask, what if it turned out that Catholicism was wrong and Protestantism was just a correction to the mistakes that they had made? Would that be possible?
Yeah, no, not possible. I tell you why it is not possible. I tell you why, and everything I will say, I'll give explanation. Why it is not possible. When you go for the history of the United States, you can track the history back to the first person who came here. And this is the history of the United States.
Well, the first person who came here wasn't really part of the history of of the United States as a nation.
No,
but
I'm talking about when you, that's what I was going to tell you now. When you talk about the Constitution of the United States, and when you go for a loose suit.
Hello?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh.
Not that we were following you in the first place.
We're having some bad luck with Christian callers today, I'm afraid. Do you want to say anything about his point?
I have no idea where he was going, to be honest with you.